John Walter, and I call this meeting of the State Ethics Commission to order. I have two announcements that I am required to make, so please bear with me as I read them. Pursuant to the requirements of the Sunshine Act, the holding of an executive session must be announced at the public meeting immediately prior to said executive session or the next meeting thereafter. An executive meeting was held on September 30th, 2014 to receive legal advice and to review matters that are by statute 65 PACS 708, 1108, confidential, including the review of completed investigations for the purposes of issuing final adjudications, the review of confidential opinion requests, the review and consideration of applications for 90-day extensions of investigations filed by the Investigative Division, and the review of pending litigation. An executive teleconference meeting was held on July 28, 2014 to review matters that are by statute 65 PACS 708, 1108, confidential, including a request for reconsideration as to a previously issued order. An executive teleconference meeting was held on July 18, 2014 to discuss and approve a resolution providing for the Commission's budget allocation to be ratified at the Commission's next public meeting. An executive teleconference meeting was held on July 8, 2014 to review matters that are by statute confidential, including to discuss the Commission's budget appropriation and to approve the Commonwealth Schedule 2% pay increase for Commission employees to be ratified at the Commission's next public meeting. Pursuant to the Public Official and Employees Ethics Act 170, 1978, as amended by Act 9 of 1989, and June 26, 1989, as amended by Act 93 of 1998, the State Ethics Commission is specifically mandated to hold at least 2 public hearings each year, of which at least one shall be held in Harrisburg, and at least one shall be held at a location other than Harrisburg, Harrisburg, Philadelphia, to specifically seek input from persons and organizations who represent any individuals subject to the provision of this Act and from other interested parties. We have placed on the agenda for today's public meeting a notice that the Commission will be meeting today in part to receive input or testimony of such individuals pursuant to the provisions of the law. As our previously published notice has indicated, the Commission will request copies of any statement that is presented. The individuals presenting statements before the Commission will be allocated 15 minutes in order to complete their statements. Statements shall be uninterrupted, except that such statements may be interrupted or terminated by the presiding officer if it is determined that the statement is impertinent, scandalous, or otherwise improper. That concludes the required readings. And so now I will get to the first order of business, which I feel is the best order of business this morning, and that is introduction of 2 former members of this commission. First, I would like to introduce Mr. Lou Fryman, who was appointed to this commission in 1998, and in 2002 was elected chair, and he served back until 2012. It's my privilege to introduce Mr. Lou Fry, who was former chairman of this commission and a friend.
Thank you so much. Remember the wonderful comedian Don Bellowitz? People would start to fill and say it again. But I'm delighted to be here. Thank you for the kind invitation. You know, memory serves us in different ways. And the nice thing about memory, it puts things in perspective. And I can tell you, after serving 14 years or whatever long it was, I don't think I remember any of the cases. But what I do remember is the wonderful people I served with. And some of you were so fortunate to be working with the staff and so supportive. I won't start naming people because later on I forgot somebody. But there is one person that I must call out, and that's your chair, John Bolger, who was a gentleman of gentlemen, who has a reputation of being sincere, of being workaholic, and paying attention to this, and with it all, a wonderful sense of humor and a delightful relationship. So you're fortunate to have him working with you and leading charge of the commission. I know the other motive that you asked us here this morning, I was afraid you wouldn't have an audience, so fill that in. To all the new commissioners, you're fortunate for this service because I enjoy every moment of it and hope that I contributed something. So thank you again, John, and to all of you for having me here, for staff that I've worked with and enjoyed their devotion to the cause for many years, and to all my fellow commissioners of years past. Thank you all so much.
After yesterday's meeting, I think Commissioner Colafello is starting a movement to bring you back as chair. And the next person is Mr. Don Curry, accompanied by his wife Ingrid, who was appointed in February 2001 and served until 2012. Don, welcome.
Thank God. Only add to what our esteemed chairman said. Welcome to the city of brotherly love. But John, I don't get to you with your good health. It reminds me what Ingrid was reminding me that the first time she met you was when we went to the night before dinner. We went and said, when you were, I say it here.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to the city of Philadelphia.
Thank you. We have one other guest this morning that I just met this morning, Etta Masser, Deputy Director of the Philadelphia Ethics Board. Etta, welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here, and you should know that as we were getting off the ground here starting in 2006, that between Robin and other people on your staff, they helped us get going. We still call them and appreciate it tremendously. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Now we'll get down to business. The first item on your agenda is the minutes. Approval of the June 17th public meeting. I would entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
Second.
Commissioner Berg and Commissioner Lewis. Any questions, comments, changes? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion adopted, minutes approved. Item number 2, civil penalty order under the lobby law. Commissioner Feely has been assigned this case. Commissioner Feely.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There are 5 administrative penalty cases with proposed consent agreements for our consideration. Following 4 respondents are principals that failed to timely file a quarterly expense report for the first quarter of 2014 in their capacities as registered principals. First, the Goldenberg Group. Second, Pennsylvania Online Messenger Association. Third, Taser International, Inc. And fourth, Primerica Life Insurance Company. The 5th respondent, Gateway Management Group, Inc., is a principal that failed to timely file a quarterly expense report for the 4th quarter of 2013 in its capacity as a registered principal. In each case, the parties are in agreement that the respondent's transgression of the lobbying disclosure was negligent. Respondents, the Goldberg Group, Pennsylvania Online Messenger Association, Taser International, Inc., and Primerica Life Insurance Company, have already paid the agreed agreed-upon administrative penalties and cost reimbursements, and have filed their delinquent expense reports. Respondent Gateway Management Group has filed its delinquent expense report, but has not yet paid the agreed-upon administrative penalty. Based upon my review of the facts, I am of the opinion that the consent agreements are proper dispositions for the respective cases, and I would like to make the following motion. I move that this commission approve the consent agreements submitted by the investigative division and each of the following respondents and impose the following administrative penalties. As to Gateway Management Group, Inc., one administrative penalty in the amount of $2,700 for its delinquent expense report for the fourth quarter of 2013, with Gateway Management Group, Inc. being ordered to pay such administrative penalty within 30 days of issuance of the commission's order. And as to the Goldenberg Group, Pennsylvania Online Messenger Association, Taser International, Inc., and Primerica Life Insurance Company, one administrative penalty each in the amount of $2,625 each for their delinquent expense reports for the first quarter of 2013. I further move that this commission approves each of the additional 250 payments made to the commission by the Goldenberg Group, Pennsylvania Online Messenger Association, Taser International, Inc., and Primerica Life Insurance Company, representing a portion of the costs incurred by the commission in the investigation and enforcement of their respective matters. You know, and I want to amend my motion as to the Goldberg Group. I believe I said 2013, and I meant 2014.
Okay, you heard the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Corrigan. Any questions or comments for Commissioner Billy?
Question.
Mr. Quitman.
Is this the first time that we've added those administrative penalties onto these type of consent agreements?
Yes.
To defray our own costs?
That's correct.
I'm happy about that. Perhaps we can continue that.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion adopted. Thank you, Commissioner Good. Item 3 on our agenda, civil penalty orders under the Ethics Act. Commissioner Nick, please respond.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There are 5 civil penalty default cases that are now before this commission for decision. These cases involve respondents Jennifer Elias, Naima Truxton, Ernest Sharif, Elvira Honore, and Alonzo Jackson. Each respondent is an income maintenance caseworker with the Pennsylvania Department of Public Welfare who failed to file a statement of financial interest for calendar year 2012. These respondents did not take action or respond to a civil penalty proceeding. Following review, it is my opinion that as to each of these respondents, the Commission should levy a maximum civil penalty of $250 for the delinquent statement of financial interest. It is my opinion that the Commission should also order these respondents to file their delinquent statements of financial interest. There is nothing of record that would constitute a defense or excuse for the non-compliance. Based upon my analysis and comments, I would like to make the following motion. I move that this commission levy a maximum civil penalty in the total amount of $250 against each of the following respondents for failing to file a statement of financial interest for calendar year 2012. Jennifer Elias, Naima Truxton, Ernest Sharif, Elvira Honore, and Alonzo Jackson. Further, these respondents shall be ordered to file their statements of financial interest for calendar year 2012 within 30 days of issuance of the Commission's order.
Okay, you've heard Commissioner Nick's motion. Is there a second? Second, Commissioner Caldwell. Any questions, comments? If not, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion adopted. Thank you, Commissioner Nick. Next item on the agenda, under the gaming law, is former Deputy Attorney General Adrian King. You'll have a chance.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Caldwell, please.
Mr. Chairman, in this particular case, the requester is Adrian R. King Jr. Esquire. Mr. King is a former First Deputy Attorney General of the Pennsylvania Office of the Attorney General. Mr. King requests a determination from the Commission as to whether he would be subject to the post-government service restrictions in Section 1512.1 A1-3 of the King Act. For the submitted facts, the First Deputy Attorney General reports directly to the Attorney General and serves as second in command to the Office of Attorney General. The First Deputy Attorney General is responsible for day-to-day operations of the Commonwealth's chief law enforcement, consumer protection, and civil litigation agency. Immediately prior to assuming the First Deputy Attorney General position, Mr. King was a partner in the Philadelphia-based law firm Bellard Spahr LLP, where the primary focus of his legal practice was representation of gaming-related businesses before the Pennsylvania Gaming Control Board. Such gaming-related businesses included entities seeking a license to operate a casino in Pennsylvania, entities granted a license to operate a casino in Pennsylvania, and entities seeking to provide goods and services to a Pennsylvania casino in the capacity of a vendor. On January 16, 2013, the day following her swearing in, Attorney General Kathleen Kane held the first meeting of her senior executive staff. Mr. King states that during this meeting, he identified the actual, potential, and or perceived conflicts of interest that could arise as a result of his past representation of gaming companies doing business in Pennsylvania. And he directed that he be ethically screened from and not participate in any and all matters involving the regulation and oversight of casino gaming. In addition, Mr. King directed that any and all gaming matters requiring Office of Attorney General and Executive Office attention and oversight be handled by another attorney in the office. Mr. King has submitted a copy of the January 25, 2013 memorandum from him to the Office of Attorney General Executive Staff documenting his aforesaid recusal and delegation of any and all matters involving the regulation and oversight of casino gaming. Mr. King notes that when his recusal from gaming matters was previously brought to the attention of the Commission's Executive Director in connection with a request to have Mr. King's position removed from the gaming list maintained by the Commission pursuant to Section 1512.1(b)(2) of the Gaming Act, the request was granted, and Mr. King's position was removed from such list. Mr. King asserts that because the factual prerequisites necessary to trigger application of Section 1512.1(1)(3) of the Gaming Act are not present, he is not subject to the post-government service prohibitions contained within those provisions. Mr. Chair, I would suggest that this would be an appropriate time for any interested parties to speak on this matter.
Mr. King?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Commissioners. I'm going to keep it very brief. Obviously, submitted detailed papers to reflect the Vice Chairman's opening statement. And I simply present myself available to you to answer any questions. I want to thank you and staff for your consideration and time in considering this.
Any questions of Mr. King? I have one, sir, and it may be for legal. There's a gaming board. And this Ethics Commission has a portion of the gaming law. So these type of requests come to us, not the gaming board. That's accurate. Okay, so I find that a little strange. Why doesn't the gaming board do that stuff? Okay. Any else?
Mr. King, the pursuant to your recusal in the Attorney General's office, was there another attorney designated to handle any matters involving gaming issues that may come to the Attorney General's office?
Yes, ma'am. Linda Hoffa, who was appointed as the senior executive deputy attorney general in the office, sat in the suite with the attorney general, myself, and others. She's a career federal attorney general in the Eastern District and Criminal Division. She was the one designated. In fact, while I was there were no gaming matters that came into the office until the very end, following a lawsuit by an entity to obtain or reclaim a licensing fee, and I was referred to Linda. I was sworn in and not convicted.
Commissioner Carter?
Mr. King, just a question. I know the commission removed your title from the list, gaming list that was in the building.
Yes, sir.
But you were in a unique situation personally. It would seem to me that now the first deputy attorney general, you should add that name back to the gaming list.
I think you made a good point, sir. And in fact, yesterday I understand that Ms. Hoffa resigned her position. And so I would respectfully suggest that you may want to contact the office and speak to Bruce Beamer, who is now the first deputy, and ask how the office wishes to proceed.
Any other questions? Commissioner Calafa?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to review the facts and relevant statutory provision. On its face, Section 1512.1A1-3 of the Gaming Act would only be applicable to Mr. King if his duties as the first Deputy Attorney General for the Pennsylvania Office of Attorney General substantially involve licensing or enforcement, the development of laws, or the development or adoption of regulations or policy related to gaming under the Gaming Act, or if he had other discretionary authority which might affect or influence the outcome of an action, proceeding, or decision under the Gaming Act. Because of his recusal from the delegation to another attorney of all gaming matters, it is my view that Mr. King's position will not include such duties or authority. Given my analysis of Congress, I would like to make the following motion. I move that the holding of this commission in this matter is followed. Based upon submitted facts, upon the Commonwealth's appointment of the first Deputy Attorney General for the Pennsylvania Office of Attorney General, Mr. King would not be subject to Section 1512.1A1-3 of the Gaming Act. This determination is based upon the submitted facts of Mr. King's duties as the first Deputy Attorney General for the Pennsylvania Office of Attorney General do not substantially involve licensing or enforcement, the development of laws, or the development or adoption of regulations or policy related to gaming under the Gaming Act, and that Mr. King do not have other discretionary authority that might affect or influence the outcome of an action, proceeding, or decision under the Gaming Act. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that this be done.
You heard Commissioner Calafa's motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Commissioner Nick? Any questions, comments of Mr. King or any of you? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion adopted. Understand?
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
We wouldn't want to go fast like we did yesterday. Okay, thank you. Item 5 on your agenda is administrative matters, and it was required that when the 2014 and 2015 Commonwealth budget became law, this commission was required to immediately adopt a resolution for the allocation of the amount budgeted to the commission, specifically $2,090,000 On July 18, 2014, the Commission adopted Resolution 14-001 in order to satisfy that legal requirement. The Commission must now ratify its adoption of Resolution 14-001. Any commissioners have any questions or want to speak on that?
I'd like to make a statement, just to put it on record, because it irritates me, that again, in this package, we got a memo from Peter Tarpine, Executive Deputy Secretary of the Budget. And in that memo, he says that the Governor's Budget Office has reviewed our budget, and everything is fine. But if we want to make any amendments to that, it will require review and approval by the Governor's Budget Office. Now, I may have missed the law, but I didn't see anything in the budget that said they would review and approve our allocation or our resolution. The law only said that we would adopt a resolution allocating the money. Now, they haven't sought to ever exercise that power to an extent, I don't think. But if they never did, I think that's something we would have to consider.
And challenge?
Yes.
Yes, I agree. Any other questions or comments? If not, I'd like to move that the Commission ratify adoption of the Commission Resolution 14-001. Second, Commissioner Colville. Any further questions, comments? If not, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion adopted. Next administrative item is on July 8, 2014, the Commission approved the Commonwealth Schedule 2% pay increase effective July 1, 2014 for Commission employees. The Commission must now ratify that approval. Is there anyone want to speak on that? Hearing none, I make the following motion. I move that this Commission ratify its July 8, 2014 approval of the Commonwealth Schedule 2% pay increase effective July 1, 2014 for Commission employees. Do you have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and second. Any questions or comments about the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion adopted. Okay. Payment schedule, Rob?
There were none.
Pardon me?
There are no payment schedules to report.
Okay. And same as yesterday in your folders, there's recusal form for anyone that recuses. And that takes us down to the public comment. Since this is a public meeting, is there anyone in the audience that would like to address this commission? Now is the time. Okay. Hearing none, I would accept the motion to adjourn the commission meeting. Commissioner Berger, second. I'll second. Commissioner Colville. Any questions or comments on the adjournment motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you for your participation.